Notice of a public meeting of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville pursuant to Chapter 551, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act. Notice is hereby given that the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, in accordance with Article 5, Section 12 of the Charter of said city, will convene a regular meeting on Tuesday, October 4th, 2016, at 6 p.m. in the Commission Chambers on the second floor of the Brownsville City Hall, Old Federal Building, located at 1001 East Elizabeth Street, Brownsville, Cameron County, Texas. We will begin with a Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Father God, I thank you for the opportunity that you let us be before you. And as I stand in front of these leaders of this great city, I am reminded of your word that says, I shall never leave you, nor shall I forsake you. And today I thank you for all the leaders, for everything that's going to be spoken here, and every commission and every subject that's going to be taken for. I just ask that you give the wisdom, the understanding, that everything be to glorify the city and to glorify you. In the name of God, in the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen. No. Okay. Commissioners' activity update?
No? Okay. Mayor, I just wanted to, October is really the month of recognizing everybody. So we have Bully Month, we have Cancer Awareness, we have my good friends with the Filipino Awareness, also Heritage Month. So there's going to be a lot of activities going on throughout the community all month long. So we encourage everybody that if you see it within the public announcements or anything, that you come out and support a lot of these great causes that are going on and a lot of the recognitions that are going on throughout the month. There's a lot of beer going around too also during October, so thank you.
Anyway, thank you, Commissioner. Employee of the month.
Employee of the Month, Mr. Fernando Arellano Jr. Oh, sorry.
Mayor and Commissioners, please help me welcome the Employee of the Month for October, getting close to Christmas, and the Employee of the Year Award, Fernando Arellano Jr. Fernando, and his Director of Fernando's been working for the city since 2002. He works for the Department of Public Health as a Health and Food Sanitation Inspector. He conducts health inspections, communications with local business owners, does a wonderful job. Is one of the people that we really recognize as being able to work with the community, have people understand exactly what they need to be able to be successful in their business. He holds a state of Texas food manager's license and director control license as well, and has acquired training through the variety of agencies that do training for his type of profession. As Employee of the Month, he gets a pin. You already got pins. A better watch. I may add that Fernando and his dad works for us too, Mr. Fernando Arellano.
I see a lot of family there, so that's great.
Even though
Thank you.
It seems like his son looks older, but it's his son. And he's got a few words for us.
Good.
I am very proud and honored, humble for this award. I want to thank my director, my assistant director, for recommending this award for me. I've been working for the city about 17 years. God willing, I'm planning to serve another 15.
You got it.
I'd also like to thank my team at the health department, great teamwork. And last but not least, my family, they've been there for me all this time. And Mr. Cabra, thank you. And thank you for this award.
You got two great teams. Thank you, family, and thank you. Congratulations. Item number 4,
Consent agenda items A through H. J.
I have a motion to approve. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 5,
Item number 5, with boards and commissions, consideration and action to appoint a commissioner to the Brownsville Beautification Committee.
That was an item we tabled recently, and Commissioner Villarreal wished to resign from. We need one appointment from the commission on the beautification.
okay, that's
committee.
right. This one's carried over. You know, you should never be absent.
I got appointed last time, Mayor, to the.
No.
You're absent, you get
You
appointed.
get absent, you,
Well, then I will move to appoint Commissioner Gowan to.
do I hear a
I'll
second?
second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Be sure and advise Dr. Gowan. Item number 6,
Item number 6, consideration and action to reappoint 2 members and appoint 3 new members to the Brownsville Metro Transit Advisory Committee.
Do we want to appoint Dr. Gowan? I'm just kidding.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Commissioners. I've got currently 3 members that are serving the board. 2 of them have expressed interest to continue. Mr. Julian Lopez and Ms. Sylvia Berry expressed to continue the service and are seeking reappointment. Ms. Viola Curry, who is currently on the board, will not be able to continue to serve on the board due to personal issues at this time. And then we've got 3 appointments that, 3 applications in your packet that are seeking appointments.
I'd like to move to nominate Sylvia Berry.
Second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And I've got Mr. Julian Lopez.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
I'll move to appoint Sandra Gomez.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Got 2 more appointments.
You need 2 more.
2 more. Ms. Crystal Contreras.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We've got 1 more.
Where do you have Julian?
And wasn't it for a commissioner too?
It was, I think the one that's missing up there is Teresa Saldiva.
But didn't it say for a commission member?
That's Teresa Saldiva, she's in your district?
Yeah, I don't, I know the other gentleman. I mean, if y'all are comfortable, do y'all know her?
I take your word.
Maybe we can see if
If she
anybody
applied,
else
she probably-
applies?
Someone
We
want
want to
to?
wait for more applicants?
No, you've advertised it for a while, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll move to appoint Teresa Saldívar.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay.
Thank you.
Item number 7.
Item number 7, public hearing and action on first reading on ordinance number 235, 2016-077-CO to rezone from dwelling A, DA to apartment A, AA-CO for 6.38 acres for lots 7, 8, and 9 of Block U of Brownsville Land and Improvement Company subdivision located at 454 Los Ebanos and 504 Los Ebanos.
Mayor, City Commission, as you will recall, this item was tabled last meeting. It was tabled because it was, we had to, some signatures were presented in front of you, and we had to go back and confirm. So I'll just kind of go over the case really quickly. It's currently zoned dwelling A. It sits on 6.3 acres, and they are requesting a rezone to apartment A. Apartment A would require, would allow for 8.5 units per acre. So you're talking about 70 or 55 units, something like that. This is a property located just off Central Boulevard, off Los Ebanos, and it is in concurrence with our future land use plan. This is the aerial of that property. And this is a current picture of the property. As promised, we did go back and we mapped out all the signatures that were obtained. And they did reach 26% of the area, which means if you're above 20%, it becomes a protested case, which would In this case, because there are not all 7 of you here, it will require all 6 votes to pass. And that has been confirmed by city attorney and city manager's office. The P&Z recommended at the time, P&Z was told that the neighborhood was not in opposition, but that they would be okay with apartments of a 1-story kind. So P&Z recommended the approval of the apartment A category with a restriction for 1-story units. As of this afternoon, I did receive an email from the applicant, a representative of the applicant, and they are also putting forward 2 additional conditions, that they would, instead of the 10% required landscaping, they will do 15% required landscaping, which we could also write into this ordinance. And then also that they would double the drainage capacity. So the amount of drainage that's calculated for them, for the requirement for them, for their property, they would double that amount. So I don't know if you'd like to consider that as part of your decision, but they did put that in an email to me this afternoon. So I will entertain questions. It is a public hearing.
Are the residents there in the Honeydale and the, what's your subdivision, Pat?
Stovall Creek?
Stovall Creek, are they aware of those?
They were not aware. The email came about 4 o'clock, so I did not have time to make them aware of it. As you can see, a lot of the signatures, this is the way the signatures mapped out. So.
And so this is a protested case. In other words, if we wanted to pass this, all 6 of us would have to go in agreement, right? Yes. And my concern is when you do have a protested case, I think there's a lot of issues that have to be worked out. And again, my sole concern is how do we best approach and try to accommodate everybody's needs? And since you got the email quite late today and they haven't had a chance to discuss it, you know, my personal feeling is that they ought to have some time to talk about it, but it's up to the commission.
Well, I side with the neighborhood, so.
I mean, I've gone out there with several of the neighbors, and I understand their concern. There is a flooding issue in the area. Last time, I think it was on October, Honeydale flooded. I borrowed a truck. I didn't have a truck at the time, and I gave people rides to cross to get to their homes. So I know how bad it gets. I don't know if we can force someone to not build on their property, on their investment. But I do understand your concerns. I know engineering has gone out there and they've talked to the neighborhood. Has there been any advancement on that? We're in the same place?
I think so it is a public hearing, so we will invite anybody that.
First of all, thank you, Mayor, Commissioners Court.
Please state your name, Frank.
Frank Klinger. I am a resident of the Stovall Creek Homeowners Association. I'm not one of the 6, but I'm the administrator for the association, so I get involved in all these matters. Just to keep it short, the issue is that we have a real drainage problem and nobody's paying attention to it. Over the years, people came in 2 different areas, the area that we're talking about today, and dumped a tremendous amount of soil, okay, which is taken in landfill and not allowing this water to drain when we have rain. On the other side of Central Boulevard, a few years ago, somebody sneaked in and fell in a complete area, also a backup area for water. Now we get a 5 or 6 inch rain, all of this water goes behind Stovall Creek, sits there, and then eventually gets down to Honeydale, and those people are sitting, why do I have water in my house? Okay, now they built their houses 50, 60, 70 years ago. You know, I know you could say, well, geez, they shouldn't have built there. Well, there was no laws back then. They're grandfathered in. They're there. It is a low area. I have a suggestion that I passed around. It's not engineered. Somebody needs to look at it. If it's possible, that would be probably the simplest solution. The other solution is going to take all this fill that was put in there illegally.
Well, point well taken. All right, thank you, Frank, appreciate it.
Thank you.
This is the same area where the Jeep fell in the drainage ditch, right?
It's in the area, yes.
Like, somebody with a child drove in because they didn't see because it was flooded?
That's Honeydale and Wild Rose, behind
Right.
the golf course.
But in the same drainage area?
Vicinity, not drainage area, not the property. We're looking at the property, not
Right,
at the.
right.
This one's, it's further.
Any other public comment?
Good afternoon. My name is Joe Olivares, and I live on Honey Drive. We've been there now for 35 plus years, and our street runs onto the ditch, supposedly a drainage ditch. I called the city about 2 weeks ago, and I was informed that they would take care of it, or somebody would come over to work on the cleaning of the drainage ditch. Somebody came by today, and I asked them if they were from the city. Two, it said the pub truck was there, and they said, "Are you here to work on the drainage ditch?" And they said, "Yes," but it says it's not so much the city's problem as that's what I was told, as the people that own the property. And I said, we've been having this problem. We were flooded about a year and a half ago when we had this big problem with the rain about a year ago. We had to do a lot of repairs on our street and our home. We talked to the neighbors, they say the same thing too. I spoke with one gentleman, he said that he had flood insurance, but it was able to cover it this time. But he was told that if it happens again, his premium is gonna go up sky high. Now like I said, we have insurance too, and we were taken care of. But not only our home was damaged, but our vehicles. My wife and I were out of town at that time. Our daughter Corey could not come into our street. She tried to fix the situation, come into the house, see what the problem was, but she couldn't. Finally, after 2 or 3 days or whatever amount of time, we were out for about a week. She was able to get in. Our car was totally damaged. We had to take it to Luke Fruya, cover the whole thing, and he was there for almost a month. So we had to have a rental car. My concern is that drainage ditch. It hasn't been fixed. It hasn't been properly maintained. I don't know, but I do know that it runs onto Los Ebanos, right? Now, I don't know where the water goes from there. And it is my feeling that I think it goes under the street to the property being mentioned. But I don't know after that if there's any drainage situation there, what the problem is or anything else. But my concern was, what are we gonna do with our side of the town? Even though it's about 6, 7 blocks away, if it happens again, where's that water going to? And if this property is zoned and something happens that we won't be able to work with this owner or fix the situation, that is my concern.
Joe, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
We do listen. Okay, any other public comment? Do I have a motion to close?
Motion to close public hearing?
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I located 3 properties for you guys. I know that maybe District 1 or Southmost or my vicinity area is not ideally where you all would like to build, but I can guarantee you that we'll receive your project with open arms. If you decide to come and build in our part of town, I will gladly take you and show you the parts of town, and they're not that bad. And I will gladly go and show you, because I've heard so many things, and I did my investigations on this thing, and where people tried to purchase it before, and there wasn't an agreement. The new person purchased it. You know, I applaud the reason the people were trying to buy it before. Was trying to keep it wooded. But somebody did make an investment into this. City Commission, somebody did make an investment into this. they invested into property within our community, hopefully to build a project, to expand, and we don't even know what money it's with. You know, whether it's their life investment, whether it's, you know, an official business, something they want to go to. But they have come to the table. They are willing to work. I can already see that the votes aren't there. That's why I'm telling you. That's why I'm making the comment that I'm making. If y'all want to come over, I've got 3 properties identified already. I'll be glad to take you. And we'd be willing to take your project on and welcome it in our part of town.
Thank you,
I
Commissioner.
agree that it's an investment, but at the same time, you can do this research before you invest the money. I mean, we saw another project not too long ago where if the rezoning went through, the person would buy the property. If it didn't, they wouldn't. So, I mean, maybe they jumped the gun.
Counselor,
I think
can I just ask one question? In other words, it has to pass, if there's a motion to pass, it's got to be by 6. And so right now, I don't see 6. And also, if there's a motion to deny, there's also not 6. Is that,
But the denial will just be a denial.
It only takes 6 to pass. It doesn't take a supermajority to deny.
okay, all right, that's just the question that I had, I'm sorry.
Motion to deny?
Whether, I don't have a motion on the table right now. Is there a motion
I just made a motion to deny.
to deny?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye?
Nay.
Okay, it's denied, okay? Next item number 8.
Item number 8, public hearing and action on ordinance number 2016-1217-D, amending ordinance number 2009-1217-C of April 21st, 2009, by A, adopting the maximum allowable and actual water and wastewater impact fees, B, providing for certain qualified exemptions, C, providing for severability, and D, providing for an effective date.
Mayor, City Commission, I'm going to bring up Richard Campbell once again. He'll do a much more condensed version, just going over it again. So the last time we presented it, it was a public hearing. The statute says that it has to have 2 public hearings. This will be the second public hearing, and if this ordinance is passed, it will adopt the new impact fee. So Richard will go over that, and we'll entertain any questions after that.
All right, hi there.
Good evening.
As Ramiro said, this is an action item tonight, so all we're going to do is go over some things quickly. If I go too fast, I'm trying not to dwell on any one thing, just want to make sure everybody's back up to speed, just what we covered last time. So please slow me down if you need to, ask any questions. I'm going to cover very quickly the service area again, make sure everybody understands what we presented last time, look at the gross, quickly summarize the CIP portion of it, the capital improvement portion, and then look at the fees again that were calculated. Now, if you remember, where you stand currently, you have 1 impact fee for water and 1 impact fee for wastewater that covers your entire service area. So what we looked at this time, we're looking at zones, splitting it up into 3 separate zones, where we have zone 1, the bottom in the yellow, covers most of your downtown area. Then zone 2, the center portion, what we consider is going to be more your high growth area, and then the navigation district in the orange in zone 3 there to the right. The different growth areas, that downtown area, very low growth, little over 0.5% growth on that, both on the water and the wastewater side. Area 2, what we consider your high growth area, then the first portion of the time period through 2020, almost 1.5% growth, and then through 2025, then almost 2% growth in that area, and then really no growth in Area 3. Same thing, exact same thing on the wastewater side. Then we had the capital programs that went with those specific areas. The Area 1, the water impact fee related, remember the way it was done is you can't have anything growth related or anything in these capital programs for impact fees that is not related to growth. So you can't have any rehab, renovation, any of that type of thing. Anything for replacements is just growth related. So the impact fee portion in Area 1, $828,500. Area 2, a little over $9 million. So for the water impact fee related projects, 9.8495. And then the wastewater, same thing, wastewater impact fee related, the area 1, 1.156 million. Area 2, 11.489. And then the total for wastewater impact fee related, 12,645,000. This is just on the water side. See a lot of the projects again on the water. Most of it's main work, transmission mains. So good bit in the zone 1 and then in area 2. Wastewater, this was mostly lift station. Most of the work's going on in area 2, zone 2. And then to the calculated fees. Calculated the fee for the downtown area 1 portion. So for water, $362 per 3/4 inch meter. For wastewater, $556 per 3/4 inch meter. So a total on the wastewater, on the water and wastewater side for area 1 of $918. This is the maximum allowable calculated number. Then areas 2 and 3 combined, the water impact fee, $1,438. Wastewater, $1,974. So you have total combined impact fee for area 2 and 3, $3,412. Then we also, last time we looked at quickly where you're at now, what was calculated for the 2009 maximum allowable, first column for water, and then below it wastewater. That second middle column there, what you actually have adopted now for your total system, and then on the right, the far right, the maximum allowable for the total system number. So this is not a area 1, 2, and 3. This is, if you kept it like it is, total system, this is the number that you're looking at. 3/4 inch, right now you're at 1,036. What was calculated is 1,151 for water. Then wastewater, you're at 1,564. What was calculated is 1,601. And that's it. Wasn't trying to run through it, but I didn't want to belabor it tonight.
No. I think we've heard this a few times. Anyway, hopefully it's sunk into us.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
The last time you were here presenting, you mentioned that Commissioner De Leon had made a very good point in saying that there really is no rhyme or reason to how you calculate the numbers and the rates and the fees. So we discussed how other cities don't have impact fees at all, or they have very low impact fees, and I believe you...
Could I jump in quickly?
Sure.
Because it wasn't, but what was said, and I apologize for interrupting, but I just want to correct that there is a rhyme or reason to calculating it. There's not necessarily a rhyme or reason to what actually gets adopted sometimes. The calculation, there
Sorry,
absolutely
you're right.
is a method.
To
Yes,
how
ma'am.
that number...
I'm sorry, I just wanted to...
No, that's perfect for the clarification. How that number either promotes or stimulates growth or doesn't.
Yes,
You're
yes,
right.
ma'am.
That
Yes,
was, and that's basically what I'm arriving at. Could a city, put the impact fees on pause for a year, and then after that year, put them back at the rate that you're proposing right now? Is that an option or not at all? Or?
No, ma'am, you absolutely, you can bring them to zero, you can vote for zero, but you can't put them on pause and then pick them up later without going through this process again.
Okay.
So,
But if we wanted to remove them for whatever time period we wanted to, we could, and then go through this process again and arrive at the same numbers.
not necessarily possibly the same numbers, different numbers if projects are done, because if the projects need doing, it's either going to, you have to pay for it somehow. So if it's, your other option is rates, or if you could get grant money or something like that. Your staff does a very good job with that. But somehow they're paid for. The numbers could be different next time you look at it, because some projects may be done. On the flip side, some other projects may slide in. But you absolutely, yes, ma'am, you could do that.
I agree that lowering to zero would be great as far as attracting businesses, but I think the burden is going to be set on the average ratepayer. And rates have gone up. We approved those rate increases for a project. And this would be an even greater increase, I think, to their rates. Now, once again, you mentioned in the presentation that the impact fee is for growth only and not M&O, right?
Right, yes, sir.
So that would direct rate monies for not only maintenance, but to fund the growth. And I know most of us on the commission, I know the mayor, Rick, Rose, and myself for sure, and you probably already know, in San Pedro, we have an issue with the water quality, and they haven't maintained their system. It's very expensive to maintain. So I just don't see how we're gonna just count on rates to do the maintenance and to fund the growth. I would love to offer people a $0 impact fee, but I don't think it's a wise decision.
Okay.
Mayor, when we took upon this 10 years ago, we were 300 back then, okay, on an impact fee. And when the study came back, it proved how the citizens had been subsidizing all this development that had gone up. Well, I'm not talking about developers. A lot of people chose to go after the developer. I'm gonna call it development. But the ratepayer was the one that had to subsidize. For all of these people building subdivisions, or for all these companies coming in and building subdivisions, the ratepayer had to increase because PUB had to stretch its lines. And trust me, I didn't want to hear it at all, and I certainly didn't want to go to a max and want to be dealing with it, but ultimately the decision has to be made here. The amount that has, back then they went into committees and they put it in committees for 2 or 3 months and everything, and at the end, we're the ones that end up deciding the magic number. So what we're gonna have before us here tonight is that we have to come to a consensus, we have to come with a number, and what we think that the community is gonna be okay with our future growth. But I can guarantee you that if we stall it, and this is the year that for some emergency comes in or something that we have to get done comes in, the ratepayer is the only person that's going to be picking up the cost for what we lowered on our impact fee. I don't want to go too high, but I certainly don't want to go too low to where I'm going to burden a ratepayer to pick up the slack for what we could have done collectively here and setting in a number.
I agree with that.
And you're comfortable with the amount that is being proposed, or do you
I'm not.
have another?
I'm not. But
This-
that's why
yeah,
I'm saying.
We
In
need
other
to
words,
find-
this governing body tonight can make the decision as to where we can possibly be and where, we can take. I'll tell you, and I'm, I would hate to say it, I don't want to say it in open session, but you're gonna have folks, well, regardless of what we do tonight, you're gonna have folks from both sides of the fence coming at you.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you go too low, those people that have paid it, I was one of the people, when I built my home, I paid the new impact fee that we had set here, so basically, at the same time, I ended up paying the higher rate that than what I would have paid before. But, we have the responsibility here, us, to set it and to, guide where it's gonna be in the future.
Yeah. Commissioner De Leon, do you have a number?
Yes, Mayor. Talking to some of the PUB members and talking not to more than 2 commissioners, they explained to us that I think the maximum was 2,700. So we were thinking to make a motion to amend to set them Zone 1 around 800 and Zone 2 and 3 around 1,600, which would be double of Zone 1.
Which would be a reduction from the 2,700 regardless. So is that a motion?
Excuse me, Mayor, this is a public hearing?
I'm sorry.
It is a public hearing, and let me
I
clarify.
have
that-
one more clergy pastor in the name of, gonna protest in the name of the Lord.
No, this is just in the name of jobs. When we increased the impact fees before, from what I was hearing from the developers is that they couldn't sell lots anymore because that price was added to the price of the lot. And in Brownsville, we have a population that has a hard time buying. And that's one reason why our rent is so high here, in some cases double what a mortgage would be, because they can't make that jump into actually buying and doing something for themselves. So I just encourage you, I mean, yeah, I realize ratepayers are, it may look like they're subsidizing it, but that same ratepayer may not have the construction job that he would have if we had the development. So I just encourage you not to raise it. I don't know what the number should be,
Yeah.
but I just would hate to see us.
Okay, Pastor, I don't think anybody up here has got the idea of raising anything. So
No.
we're trying to
Trying to
reduce
lower it.
Yeah, so that we can reach as many people as possible. But the honest to God truth is the downtown area has more infrastructure and therefore requires a little bit less than the outer areas, you know, the zone 2 and 3. And that's we're trying to come up with a reasonable situation so everybody pays a fair share with regards to what it is the cost for us to provide those services. So thank you so much for your, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'd have to agree with Commissioner De Leon and Commissioner Longoria in the sense that we need to find a number that's fair to the person who's paying the impact fee and also, and Commissioner Villarreal, I'm sorry. We all agree up here that we are looking for a number that, that the constituent is receiving a fair number, and PUB is also receiving a fair share, that they can maintain our system and keep it up and running in a condition that is in a working condition. And so I think that by pricing, what we're actually using is the fairest system to both the user and PUB. And so I think doing it by zones is definitely a better idea than what we're currently using right now.
Well, I just wanted to address what was in the ordinance. So the ordinance was written to adopt the $900 impact fee in Zone 1, and actually for Zone 2 and 3, it was written to stay the same at the current rate. So any motion would have to obviously include the numbers and all that kind of stuff, and we'll get it straight. And then the other thing I wanted to add is currently, you know, we are reviewing plats with regards to the development. There's 200 lots in the platting process currently in Zone 2 that are either about to be approved or have paid the $2,700. But that's just, I was just reporting the fact of that's so development is moving
Right.
In that area, and I think we will continue to see development.
Do you have a map so the public can see what we're talking about by zones?
I think he put them up here.
Just to make sure that everybody knows.
And the northern border of Zone 1 is, is 802. So it kind of squiggles through there, but you know, once we go to implementation, we'll get it right.
Okay, public comment, anybody else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to close public comment.
Motion to close public comment?
Do we have a second?
I wish all those people would have been as eager to speak on this one, but I guess not.
Yeah. So do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now we have the actual motion as to what the fee will be, is that correct?
Yes.
The amount is,
Well, I hereby move to amend the actual ordinance to read or adopt an impact fee rate for Area 1 for water for 300, wastewater for 500, for a total of 800, and for Area 2 and 3, water at 600, and wastewater at 1,000, which would be the same ratio in proportion if it were 2,700.
Do I hear a second to that?
No, hold on, let me get that again. I got the $300 for water, Area 1, $500 wastewater, Area 1, and then 2 and 3?
And for 2 and 3, 600
600
and
and
1,000. So it would be the same ratio if it were set at the 2,700. So if you look at what you gave us, it was 362 to 556 and 1,036 to 1,564. So it's kind of the same ratio.
Okay, do I hear a second to that motion?
Let them vote.
And before that motion takes place, I was informed that we need to take an effective date. So the motion also needs to include an effective date as of
Tomorrow?
tomorrow, a month from now, whatever the commission says.
I think it's only fair to do it now. If you're going to do it now, because everybody.
Because then it stalls stuff.
Yeah.
And is that fair to
How does it
accounting
affect-
and other departments at PUB? I mean, is that an easy change?
Mr. Bursack, is that okay? Would you make it effective immediately? Okay,
I think that's a
effective.
very fair balance to the
Yeah.
user and PUB.
Okay. All right, so it'd be effective immediately, or at least upon signature. Do I hear a second?
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all very much. Very well done.
Public comment?
Sorry, someone.
Item number 10, consideration and action to award the contract to Facilities USA LLP for the Market Square Building, Bell Tower, and Dome rehabilitation.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the Commission. This item presented before you today is to award a contract to Facilities USA LLP for the Market Square Bell Dome and Dome rehabilitation project. Facilities was the sole bidder, and they came in at 1% less than the architect's estimate. The contract total is for $223,600, and the completion time for this project is 165 consecutive calendar days. And it is limited to just the reinforcing of the dome and the bell tower.
Make sure you tell them how important that dome is to our city, 'cause that's our logo. Tell them not to break it.
Do we know about this company besides being the sole bidder? I mean, is it reliable and all that good stuff?
I believe
Have we done our
that
due?
they have worked with, that they worked with the city before. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And they've done it well? Good. Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve?
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Thank you.
Ricardo?
Thank you.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
We meet next week.